All right, guys, so we're doing A2 factoring by GCF, which you know stands for greatest common factor. When you look in here, we have polynomials, right? We have two terms here, that's a binomial. We have three terms here, that's a trinomial, binomial, trinomial, binomial, trinomial. So what we need to do here, though, is factor. So again, factoring means we're trying to find the biggest thing we can take out of everything there. So you have to know how many terms you have, because then we're going to be looking at what you can take out. So when I look at 2x to the fourth and I look at the 4, what is something you can divide them both by? I'm hoping you see the 2 there. So we can take the 2 out front. This is called factoring by GCF. I should highlight that, because we're going to learn all sorts of different methods for factoring, and GCF is just the first one, and you always check for GCF. It makes your problem simpler if you can look in there and take it out. So what happens when you divide 2 divided by 2? You just get the 1, right? So I'm left with x to the fourth. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And that is what we call factoring. Factoring is taking out a factor out front. And you're going to actually make parentheses, and the same number of terms you have here are going to be inside of the parentheses. Okay, but I'm just taking out as much as I can out front. Okay, so I have a lot to practice here, so just stay with me and really try to focus in. So we have 3 terms. So again, when I do this parenthesis, I'm going to still have 3 terms in here. And in fact, because this one is a positive, I can already even put these subtractions in there, because they're both going to stay subtraction. So let's look at the number first. We got an 8, a 4, and a 16. What can you divide all 3 of those by? And if you're not sure, you can go do your ladder here, your GCF ladder. But hopefully you see that it's 4. You can divide 4 out of this, this, and this. So for sure we're going to take the 4 out. Now let's look at the variables. We got an x to the third, an x squared, and an x. So you want to only take out what you can take out of all of them. So I'm not going to say x to the third, because I can't take x to the third out there. I only have 1. So I'm going to take an x out, because I can take 1x out here, and I could take 1 here, and I could take 1 there. They all have enough to give. So that is a weird looking 4. I don't know what I was doing there. So now we got to see, when we divide that out of each of those terms, what's left inside now. So let's look at the number first. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And you don't necessarily always do just the numbers first, but I'm trying to get you to see that we look at the numbers a little bit differently than we look at the variables. Because with the variables, when we have an x to the third and we're dividing out an x to the first, we're reducing it by 1. So I took 1 out and I'm left with 2. I had 2, I took 1 out, and I'm left with 1. Here I had 1, I took it out, so I'm left with none. So I'm not going to even put an x there. And that is the answer. Try C on your own. See if you can at least figure out part of it, maybe. Like, how many terms are there that are going to be in the parentheses? 2? That's correct. And we also have the subtraction right here. So when we look at this and we see the 4 and the 3, is there anything you can factor out of a 4 and a 3? No, there isn't. So we're going to leave those. But we got an x squared and an x. So remember, this is x to the first. So is there enough where you could take 1 out? Yes. I can't take 2 out, though. This one has 2, but this one doesn't. I can only take out what I can take out of both of them. So if I take this out, the 4 is still here. I didn't do anything with that, but I took one of these x's, so I have 1 left. Now, if I, again, left the 3, because it had to stay there, but I took out this x out front, so there's no x left. So we're done. That is factored. All right, let's look at the next one. We've got how many terms there, class? There are 3 terms there. So I'm going to have 3 terms in my parenthesis. I'm going to put the plus in there. I'm going to put the minus in there because I know those are going to stay there. Just like there's a plus and a minus here, there's a plus and a minus there. Now let's look at the numbers. We got 10, 20, and 5. What can you factor out of all 3? Yes, you are correct. You can take a 5 out. Let's look at the y. We got a y to the third, y to the second, and a y to the first. What can you take out of all 3 of them? How many y's? Right, just 1. So now let's see what we have left. If I take 10 divided by 5, 2. Y to the third, if I take one of those y's out and put it out front, how many are left? 2. Yep, you're just taking away from the power on those. So they're handled a little differently, right, due to the rules. 20 divided by 5 is 4. And you had 2 y's and we took 1 out front. So we have 1 left. And then we had 5 divided by, oh, look at that, guys, 5y, and we took the 5y out front. So do I put 0 in there? What do you think I'm going to put in there? A 1, because you have to have a term. Because remember, when we distribute spider legs, I got to be able to get that term back. So we replace it with a 1. Alrighty, let's look at the next one. How many terms? 2. So let's set it up. And I'm going to look at first noticing that I have a negative and I have a negative before each. So I'm going to get rid of that negative because that's if it's in both, it should come out. And then we got a 14 and a 12. So what is the GCF for 14 and 12? Well, it looks like it's just a 2. And then we have an x, and then we have an x to the second. So what can we take out? Yes, just one of the x's. So negative 14 divided by negative 2 is 7. And I took this x out front, so there's no x left on the inside. Now this is a little tricky because this is gone now. Remember, this is like keep, change, flip. And if I took divided and negative 2 out of the negative 12, I have a positive 6. Do I have any x's? I had 2. I put 1 out front, and yes, indeed, I do have. Oh dear, energy saver is on. I best get that plugged in. One moment, please. Okay, I'm back. The computer's plugged in, and my toe got slammed into the wooden leg. Graceful that I am. But I should be okay. Take a deep breath. All right, here we go, guys. How many terms? And gals, how many terms are there? Oh my, now what? Later. I keep getting these notifications. There's 3 terms, right? So we are going to take a look and see what can we take out of all 3 terms. We're going to be looking a long, long time. You know why? These have x's, that doesn't. So we can't take an x out. These have a factor of 2, that doesn't. There's nothing you can take out of all 3 numbers. So this is the answer. You can't factor it. There's nothing you can take. Where is my whiteout? There we go. Keep everything nice and neat. So that's the first thing. Okay, so that's one type of thing. That's called factoring by GCF, where you are looking at the number of terms, the same number of terms is in the parentheses. So you literally set up a parenthesis. If you're factoring, you set up your parenthesis and see what can you take out front. Okay, for when you factor by GCF. Now this is slightly different. It looks definitely more confusing But when I show you what's going on here, I'm hoping that you can view this a little bit differently. Do you notice anything in this? Like there's an x minus 3, x minus 3. And look at this. Those are the same. Those are the same. And those are definitely not the same. But those are the same. Those are the same. So if you can view this as two kind of big terms. So look at this minus that. Because our subtraction is still in the middle. What is the same in both? That. That is your greatest common factor. You can divide that out. So we can take that x minus 3 out of both of those, out front. Just like up here, you took the 5y out front. Well, in this case, what's the same in both? The x minus 3, so I took that out. So that's gone now. I took it out front. Now we're going to have another parenthesis, and we're going to write what's left. So what is left? That goes in the other parenthesis. 7 minus 2x. That's the only thing that's still in there. So we write that in the other parenthesis, and we're done. This is part of what we're going to get to down here, which is called grouping. Factoring by grouping. That's our second way. We did GCF at the top, groupings here. This is kind of a sub-step to this, teaching you a little part of this, and then you're going to use that in here. Okay? So stay with me here. Again, where's that addition sign? Well, there's several of them, right? But this is right in the middle of it. It's not in a parenthesis. So again, view this like two bigger terms. What's the same in both? What can we factor out of both? We can factor out the b squared plus 1. And then what is left inside? 2b plus what? There's nothing written there. What's there? What's before that parenthesis, even though it's not written? A 1. Negative 2b plus 1. Okay, we got several more to try, so stay in there now. Okay, so again, what's the first thing you're going to do? Try to envision your big terms, so to speak. Here we go. Those are the two things being added together. Okay, now what's the same in both? If they're not the same, you can't take it out. You can't, if it's x minus 2 and x plus 2, sorry, doesn't work. Only if they're exactly the same. So I have x plus 2. I took it out, cross it off. But I didn't cross it off over here. When you take it out, cross it off. And now you're seeing what is left. We have a 5 plus a 3x left. And that goes in the other parenthesis. All right, why don't you try number D? Why don't you try letter D and see how that goes for you? I give you these techniques, you know, the highlighters and the circling and the crossing, and you know, those of you that get in the habit of using some of these things to help you tend to grab a hold of it a little bit quicker than others. So, you know, do the things I'm asking you to do. First thing is find your big terms. So there's my subtraction, smack in the middle. So I got this and this. Now we ask, what's the same in both? and highlight it, x plus 4 and x plus 4, that parenthesis. We're looking for things in the parenthesis. I should just clarify. Like if this was a 3 and this was a 3, no. It has to be, we're looking for parentheses where things are the same inside that we can factor. It has to be one of the multiples that you can take out. Actually, it could be if it was a 3, you could take the 3 out too. Anywho, but that's not going to happen. So x plus 4 comes out, cross it off. Now you look for what is left. 9x minus 5. All right, E. Go ahead, you guys, circle the two bigger vision terms that you see, the two bigger pieces. Here's your plus. That tells you the sides. Here's one. Here's one. All right, now look for what's the same. In other words, is what's in the parentheses the same? Bet your bottom dollar it is. T squared plus 4. So we're going to take that out, cross it off, and what's next? See what's left for the other parenthesis. You have two parentheses plus, oh, there's nothing there. Guys, there's nothing there. Yes, I heard you. You put a 1 there. Okay, so we put what's left. Negative t plus 1. Now here, do we do it? Circle the two bigger terms. Look inside those parentheses. Is it the same? That's a big no. It's not the same. So if it said to factor, there's nothing more you could do. So the actual answer is the, that you can't factor it. I wouldn't even highlight that. Let me take that back. Your answer would be can't factor. Okay, so now that is a side step to the next method. So again, GCF, when we were trying to figure out what we could put out front. And now we're going to factor with method number 2 called grouping. Grouping. GCF works when you have, I'm going to get a different color to really jump off the page. Which color shall I use? Sparkle pen, where are you? No, I don't have it. All right. GCF is any number of terms. Doesn't matter how many terms, any number you can try GCF. Grouping, you are only going to consider when you have 4 terms. Okay. Well, let's see. Do we even have 4 terms? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We wouldn't even have considered it up there. Okay? And even down here, these are all groups of 2 bigger terms. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay! It's perfect. So we are going to now put in parentheses. So the first step is we put in parentheses around the first 2 terms. And then you leave that addition there, and then you go right after it and put your second 2 parentheses in. So I'm going to write this somewhere else on this page so that you have it. I think I'll put it right here. First step is put parentheses in. I think I'm spelling it wrong again. I hope not. And now we need to do GCF on this, then GCF on this. Okay, so let's look at this. It's 2 terms. Is there anything you can take out of 12a to the third, and 9a squared. Well, let's look at the numbers. We can take out 3. A to the third, a to the second. What can we take out? A to the second, they both have at least that. And now let's see what's left. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. And if I took out 2 of those 3 a's, I have 1 left. Drop the minus down. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And if I took both of these out, I have none left. So I'm not going to write an a term there. It's just going to be a number. All right, plus. Put your plus sign down. Don't forget that. 20a minus 15. We got to do the same thing now. Just looking at just those two, what can you take out? A 5. Good. Any a? Nope, that has an a, but that doesn't, so you can't take the a out. All right, so if you divide that by 5, what do you have left? 4, and then the a is still there. Drop the minus down. 15 divided by 5, 3. Now, does anybody see something there? I spy with my little eye 2 bigger terms, just like we had up there. And lo and behold, boom. Check it out. It's exactly the same. If it wasn't, we couldn't do this. So this is how we're grouping. By you grouping these first two and the last two, factoring them out, we saw that these were the same. So then remember, we take that one out front, we cross it off, and now what do? I see what's left. We have 3a squared plus 5. And that's what goes in the second one. All right. Well, we're going to keep trying here, and I expect you guys to keep trying too. Otherwise, what's going to end up happening is you can just restudy this again tonight. So really try hard here so that you get it. I know it's hard stuff. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's take a look at the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Perfect time to try grouping. So, group them. That's why we call it grouping. We're going to put the parentheses in. We're going to group them. First 2, second 2. My question for you is, did you leave that plus sign out of the parentheses? Yes, I hope you did. Now, do GCF on first parenthesis, GCF first group, and then GCF second group. Okay. So looking at the first group, 9x third plus to the third plus 18x squared. What can you divide out of the 9 and the 18? A 9 is correct. How about out of x to the third and x to the second? X to the second, the smaller one. Good. All right, so we have to see what's left. 9 divided by 9 is 1. And then x to the third, we took out 2, so we have 1 left. Bring down your plus. 18 divided by 9 is 2. X to the second, oh, I brought the whole thing out front, so I don't write anything in there. Do I need that 1 there? No, but it can be there. Let's look at the next parenthesis, x plus 2. Is there anything we can factor out of that? No. So I shall just leave it. Because now you're noticing, I know some of you are seeing it. Who's seeing it? Ding, ding, ding. Big group, big group. What's the same in both? Remember what I said, you don't have to have that one there. They're both x plus 2. So take the x plus 2 out front, cross it off. Now we see what's left. It's never just 1. 9x squared plus what? What should be after that plus sign? That's right, a 1. So 9x squared plus 1. Make that a little darker there so you can see it. All right, feel free at any point to pause the video and try it yourself. I'm just going to kind of keep plugging through these. I think this is just best by just keep practicing, keep practicing. First step is grouping. Put the grouping parentheses in. Next step, GCF the first one. Okay, so when you look in here, you got these two terms. What can you take out of 6 and 8? Yes, you can take out a 2. And how about the b to the third and the b to the second? B to the second. Okay, so if you divide 2 out of the 6, you're left with 3. And if you took 2 of those b's out, how many are left? 1. Plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. And the b to the second is out front here. So I don't have any left inside. Plus, don't forget that plus, 9b plus 12. 9 and 12. Can I take anything out of the 9 and the 12? Yes, I can take a 3 out. Can we take any b out? No, because that doesn't have a b. That one does, but not that. So I'm going to leave the b. 9 divided by 3 is 3. The b is still there. And 12 plus 12 divided by 3 is 4. All right. Find your big terms. And we notice that what happened again? Awesome. So we take that out front. And what's left on the inside? Well, what's left? That's a good question. What is left? 2b squared plus 3. Kind of blends in there, but 2b squared plus 3. By golly, you're factoring, people. All right, a few more. I know these are hard. Repetition is great for this kind of stuff. First step, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Factor, or I mean group, with parentheses. Here they are. Next step, GCF this. We can take out a 4 and an r to the third and an r. We can take out 1 r. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and r to the third, one of them came out, so I still have 2 on the inside. Plus 24 divided by 4 is 6, and the r went out front, so we're done. GCF the second one. R to the second plus 6. Anything you can take out of there? No. So we're just going to leave it. We're going to envision this as 2 big terms, and our eyes are going to go yippee skippy because these are the same. And we're going to take that out front, so we get 4r. Oopsie. Taking out the wrong thing here. R squared plus 6. Cross them off, and then we go ahead and see what's left. And we have 4r plus what? Correct, 1. There's your answer. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Perfect for grouping. We now do our parentheses. And now we group the first one. We GCF it. 6 and 4. What can we take out? We can take a 2 out. H to the fourth, H to the third. Take the smallest one out, H to the third. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. I had 4 H's. I took 3 out. I have 1 left. 4 divided, oops, don't forget my subtraction. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And H to the third, that's it. I took them all out. Go to the next. GCF the next thing. Put your plus sign in there. 12H minus 8. Take a 4 out. Can you take any H's out? No, because only that has an H. So that's going to give us 3H minus 8 divided by 4 is 2. We now go ahead and view this as two big terms. And we see these are the same, which is great news. That comes out front. We cross it off, and we see what we have left. Oops, I forgot my plus sign in there. Gotta include that. So I have 2H to the third plus 4. All right, one more to go. A little bit of a long video, but these are kind of tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect to try grouping. We are now going to put our parentheses in and do GCF on the first one. 5 and 15. Yep, we can take a 5 out. Y to the fourth, Y to the third. We can take 3 of those out. If I take a divide of 5 divided by 5, I get a 1. Y to the fourth, I took 3 out. I have 1 left. Minus 15 divided by 5 is 3. Y to the third is all taken out front, so I don't have anything else there. Plus y to the second minus 3y. Well, they have a 1 and a 3, so you can't take out any number, but you have a y to the second and a y to the first, so you can take out a y. And if there's 2 y's here and you took 1 out, you have 1 left. Minus, and here you only had 1 y that came out, so I'm left with a 3. Here's our two big terms. We notice those are the same. So those come out front. We now see what's left. Oops, I didn't cross them off. We see what's left. 5y to the third plus y. Did anybody notice something with that one? That one, I see something else as I'm finishing that. Anybody see something else? Do you guys see that this has another GCF? A y? So I'm just going to leave this y minus 3 here, but I can take another y out. And I'd be left with a 5y to the second plus 1. And I don't like this lonely guy in the front. I'm going to put him in the front. So, and these are all multiplied, so you can write them in any order because of the commutative property. So what does that mean? Why did that happen like that? Well, if you go up at the very beginning, what do you notice? They all had a y. That didn't happen in these other ones. That last thing was always a number. It didn't have the letter. That's why that happened there. So you could have taken that y out at the very beginning if you wanted to. A 1y. But otherwise it just kind of, it's there and it's going to show up eventually, so you can take it out. That's a tough one. Hoping you guys can handle those. Again, Use the video, rewatch it, learn it. You can do it. Every one of you. All right. Take care.